Yo, we live. You're now listening to Volume 152 of the Bucket Up Podcast. Here with your boy Ty Doyle, aka DJ Buttersauce, aka Tylante, aka your mom watching me on the stream right now. And I'm here as always with the homie, the kid JB was good.
Happy to be here, man. It's me, the kid JB. Could have been right last week, last year, last century, last decade, but who knows? I did because it's me, the kid JB. Could have been right, Mr. Told You So, not because I'm always right, but when I'm right, I told you so. Puff Armstrong, bro. We live in legally, medically relaxation on this Saturday because that's what they're meant to do. But yeah, man, been a wild week. I'm happy to touch down and be here. It's, like I say, this is my safety zone. You know what I'm saying? My home base.
Safety Zen. I get you what you was about to do.
Yeah, see, there you go. Saving me as you always do. But yeah, man, how you doing? First of all,
I'm good. Yeah, it was definitely a weird week for several reasons. We get into some. Maybe I'll share a little bit of light on some of that. But yeah, it was a weird week. But I'm good right now, man. Just me and Katie just built the fucking dresser for the baby that's coming on the way. Fuck that shit.
the
That
baby,
always
the
word
baby
of
pay you
advice.
for it yet? Or
Nah, I
no?
ain't paying. She already costing us money, but if you get some shit that you post, don't be like, oh man, fuck that extra money. You can just build that shit. Yeah, you can, but then you might get that motherfucker, and it's gonna take you 2 fucking days. So
And who knows if you're building it right? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly. And you get afraid. You put shit on backwards. You got to unscrew shit, and yeah, if you got a fucking pet, you dropping screws, and you're like, I hope I didn't drop this. Make sure we pick them all up, or this little motherfucker might eat it. So yeah, make
Or they think
sure.
it's the new toy or some shit.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was saying that perfectly, bro. Shouts to building things. I was saying to Joelle, you know what I'm saying? We have a French press coffee
Hmm.
and she roasts me, no pun intended, because I tell her I'm not naturally good at making not naturally good at using that French press. And she said
Right.
nobody can naturally be good at something that you have to like learn to do. And I said, "Nah, I think like even if you word for word, play by play, turn by turn, follow directions, you still could have a little percentage of that like knack for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that, I just like she thinks it's laziness, but I'm like, no, it's a compliment for you, if anything. Like you just make coffee better than I do in that thing. And she's like, you have to just if it's water to bean ratio, and I was like, yeah, but there's also like mechanics of pushing the thing down. There's might be speeds, there might be a level of strength. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm.
tybrolic, so it might be a little too much. Um, so yeah, no, I mean, getting to your point about building the dresser, like, you know what I'm saying? It might be a shaky dresser after the day, you know what I'm
Yeah, you know what I mean. Might be like teeter tottering, and you put shit in the drawer and then fucking like lean, but it's like it's only baby clothes going there. Like, how heavy the baby clothes gonna be? So we probably be
saying?
fine.
Right, but I mean, who knows? But I'm glad that you're with me because I'm like, son, like it's possible to be bad at something that even if you read the directions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Or you just slip up because people fuck up. I mean, they try to make these things unfuck up proof, but I don't know if you ever took. Have you ever taken like a science class in college? And I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure you have. And
biology.
they do one of those exercises where you gotta like. I know they did the shit with us where it's like explain how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But like, you know what I'm saying? But then people do it and they're like, oh yeah, first you get the bread and then you put the jelly and you just spread it on. And then the teacher's up front, like, all right, what the fuck is bread? You know what I mean? And so yeah, and it's just like, yeah, you gotta fucking for a lot of this shit with instructions, you gotta explain that shit to us like we five.
Yeah,
And
but those are unfair because I'm like, I don't want a 5-year-old making my peanut butter.
yeah, I know, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the fuck a basset wrench or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or fucking, they say put this in that hole, but it's like which hole on what? You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
it's
right,
like
right.
it's way more. It always end up being more. It's a simple thing once you actually do it all. But like when you're reading the directions, you're like, man, this shit look like Japanese, bro. What the fuck?
or or I mean, shouts to the Japanese listeners. I'm sure it
uh,
comes easy for y'all if it's Japanese,
well,
but
obviously, if you speak you speak Japanese, yes.
I just want to touch all bases. But now I'm saying,
Okay.
same with that. You're right. It could be a mind trick too, with like because they'll give you the the key or the element, and it'll be like, all right, these pieces are letter A, these pieces are like letter D, right?
Yeah,
And alphabetically, you're like, all right, so these pieces should come first because they're A, and they're like, nah,
exactly.
put C connected to Z,
Yeah, it's
and you're like,
like
nah, fam, when? What word is CZ? Like,
exactly, and they're like, "Yo, put G and H," and you're like, "Whoa, hold on, hold on." I feel like we skipping some steps, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And then yeah, man, that's my gripes with YouTube cooking channels. They're like, all right, yeah, just take out 47
yeah.
pots and don't worry about cleaning dishes.
Oh, bro, yeah. I don't. I watch YouTube food videos strictly to just watch them make shit and be like, maybe I'll do one literal aspect of that. I'm not do this shit like bar for bar, bro. Like I'm gonna hit up like, oh, maybe I'll souffle the eggs next time in my pancakes, but that's it. Like I'm not
But
doing the whole shit that you just did.
so there's that when you can give in to be like, yo, someone's better at doing something like that. But then there's like neutral moves like popcorn. Like everyone's got their own, like, nah, see, on my microwave, you do 2.34,
Yeah, yeah.
every kernel popping. And then it's like, oh, word, at my spot, we hit the popcorn button. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 that's true. Also, fuck popcorn. Not
Whoa.
really. And not popcorn would be the perfect snack if it
I got
wasn't for.
the popcorn socks on right
Oh
now.
shit, my bad. I didn't mean to come at popcorn game like that.
Yeah.
I was going overboard so I could like edge it back, pushing it to the
Yeah.
edge so I could bring it
PCG,
back.
popcorn gang.
But no, I'm saying popcorn would be a way better snack if it wasn't for fucking kernels, man. Them shit get stuck in my teeth and it pisses me off every fucking time.
Yeah, that's fine. And I also think maybe fellas and Buckets Ty's a little upset that he hasn't been in the movie theater in like a year.
I'm not a popcorn at the movies guy, weirdly.
No, he's not. But it's just maybe it's just a trigger
I'm
because it
more candy at the
reminds,
movies, you know.
yeah, or moon cheese.
Whoa.
I think it's funny every time you go there and you see moon cheese on the menu. You're like, one day.
Nah, never. No day. No day in the future.
Shouts to the homie Kellen. He was telling us one time we went to go see a movie and he was telling me how the movie sucked and he wasn't vibing it. And then it was funny because he was talking about how he was eating because they also serve what are those, the frozen belly bombers, White Castles.
Oh yeah. Wait, the fucking little sliders?
Yeah, you can buy like a 2-pack.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
and it was funny though, is like my focus. I was like, wait, fam, time out. You got White Castle at the movie theater. I was like, I don't get the movie. I'm on the movie side now, son. The movie's good.
What you found? What the problem is getting the White Castle from the movie theaters?
Yeah, or just like that's just. I'm like, I would think it'd be wild because you're walking through the aisle, you smell butter, you smell popcorn, and then you smell grilled onions, and you're like, wait a minute, is that a White Castle?
Oh, okay. Not see, because I'm like where I'm from, at least, or the lineage I come from. We sneak in with any type of food into the movie theater we want. So, you know what I mean? We doing whatever. If you want to bring in you could hit up White Castle. Them burgers small. You could definitely pack those in your pants and just bring them in. I've seen people bringing Taco Bell to the movies.
That's
fucking
wild.
KFC. Fucking eating fucking chicken.
My lineage of people, my dad walks by the concessions and goes, "We're not getting any of this shit."
Yeah,
no,
no, we don't buy it from them. We bring it in. You sneak it in a purse or something, bro. That's
I have shouts to cargo shorts. I was rocking with those heavy back in like 06, 05.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a movie theater, and in fact, super bad. That was in what 07?
Yeah, like 07, 08.
The homie brought a whole Chipotle burrito in his cargo shorts.
That's crazy. I mean, that's what the cargo shorts for, bro.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Because the Chipotle burritos is pretty hard to eat. They big, bro. I feel like he was spilling burrito juice and guts everywhere.
I'll tell you what. This was, we went type smacked, and he was like, he passed the burrito around like it was a blunt. Like there was like four of us eating.
That's some wild pre-COVID shit right there.
Yeah, and then he was like, and then it came to me, and at the end of the burrito when it's got like the sour cream, like the best part of the burrito, it's like
that little last bite and the little like little pouch left. If it didn't break apart, that's the worst.
Right, it's like the pocket
stays in the little pocket. You get that little last bite. Yeah, that's fire.
I had that, and it was money, and the food in the movie was funny, and I was like, "This is great. I'm having a great."
It doesn't get better than this, bro.
but then I turned, and my boy's looking at me like, "Give me the burrito."
Oh, nah, it's a wrap on the burrito, bro.
I was like, but then I was so like upset. I was like, you want this back, man? Like, I was like torn, bro, like a puppy when like I
That's
had to,
wild, bro.
so
I'm gonna be real. My blackness is compelling me to say that's definitely some white people shit to share one burrito between four. That's some shit that I would
I said,
never do.
hey, it was my Filipino homie, so he ain't
Yeah,
white, but
that's crazy because
you
I'm
know what I'm
like,
saying? In fact, it was like my rainbow friends because it was him, it was my boy Ivan, who's Pacific Islander as well. Yeah, there was not a white
mm,
person in that group actually. So
was there a black person in that group?
I think half black.
Oh yeah, okay.
He had
I'm just
half the
saying.
burrito. Yeah, half the
I'm just
burrito.
saying, bro. That is not some black. We used to in my hood. We'd waterfall fall of Arizona. You know what I'm saying? We're like, hey, don't put your lips on that. And you gotta
Nah.
like do this shit. Like, yeah, bro. I used
Someone's
to.
like, they'll be like, "Yo, can I get a sip of waterfall?" You're like, "Smile. Let me see your teeth."
Like, yo, that shit is ingrained in me, bro. I used to waterfall Katie. Like, we literally kissed, and I'm like, nah, bro, don't put your lips on my Arizona.
I mean, shit. I mean, that's funny. Yeah, and now COVID, man. I'm not even gonna share
Yeah,
shit with
nah.
myself. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take the lid off after I sip the straw. Like, nah,
Right?
JP, you
Right. I'd
wild.
be like, oh shit, make sure I wash my hands before I touch the burrito again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely
uh,
not sharing. That's wild though. That's some crazy shit. We got hella off topic.
nah, but shouts to Tangents, man. It's been a rough week. We need some positivity,
That's
bro.
true. That's true.
People telling me like, "Yo, make me laugh, bro. I need something funny." I'm like, "Yo, can you turn on the news real quick? Shit's
News
not
is
funny."
crazy, bro. So I
Uh,
guess we should dive into the wildness, bro. Like, we don't even have to like explain what happened. Everybody knows what happened.
right.
That boy, they had a fucking. I guess what happened on
Where do we
Wednesday,
start, right?
right? I guess Wednesday they had the thing to certify the election, something that's literally been a formality for years. Like the way that this set up is, this has never been some point where people can look at and overturn an election. This is just like we've already had that stuff in place. That's why we had electors and recounts and boards of different like governments within states certifying the election. That's why it felt like every 2 days we get a goddamn tweet or a notification from AP News or fucking from Apple News or from fucking on Google that said Joe Biden winning X state certified. Like there was like 8 of those because that's how our shit works. Like they it's a shit ton of it's like when you go to sleep and you set like 8 fucking alarms to make sure your ass get up. You know what I mean? That's what we do with the election. It's like, oh, like first night they count it. All right, that's one count. And then, if it's in a certain threshold, they recount that bitch. And then they do that. Then they have a motherfucker come in and certify all the votes. And then they have another motherfucker come in and vote again. Like it's a whole bunch of shit to make sure they get that shit right. To be like, so that's why usually by this time in most elections on that January 6th date that it was this year, they just come in, the Congress and the senator just come in and be like, "Oh yeah, they already voted." Like I bet, like that's all it is. It's a fucking formality, you know.
On top of the fact, what I love about this is if those certifications get bounced because people are objecting, what happens is they get bounced right back to the places where they just certified.
Yeah, and they
So,
just look at it again and be like,
and
"Ah, yeah, nah, I don't know what you want."
so,
You know what I mean?
so they will send it like it'd be like at a restaurant, the chef cooking up the food, right? Everybody at the table gets what they want, except for one person at the spot, and they're like, nah, and they're like, send back everything. And then the place is like, wait, didn't table 6 want the Caesar salad? They're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But like one person at like one spot thinks that nobody got all the right stuff. But he's like, nah, look, the ticket says right here, like Caesar salad. Like what so it's just leaving people
Exactly.
confused.
It's
Yeah.
just like it was already a wrap, bro. We already went through. We dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, bro. Like it's a wrap for you. It's been a wrap for your boy for
Months.
months, exactly. But I will say, I don't know if okay, yeah. Let me finish explaining what happened, even though I know everybody knows what the fuck happened. But yeah, that's supposed to be a formality, but because a certain portion of our population live in an alternate reality where like they consume like one kind of news from like very like shady sources, you know what I mean, they believe that there was a chance for this shit to be overturned, and I feel like uh our elected officials didn't really like some of our elected officials played into that shit by saying they were going to object to the vote when they knew for certain that this shit wasn't about to be overturned. They just using that shit to be like, oh yeah, we heard what you were saying. Like, oh man, see, that's why I voted against it. Now make sure y'all vote for me next time I'm up for re-election. You know what I mean? Like they just using that shit to be for political gain when they knew for damn certain that that shit was never going to be overturned. You know what I mean?
I,
So they
yeah,
kind of fed into this shit like there was actually some sort of reason why this needed to happen or whatever, and motherfuckers just went crazy. But I'm like, based off of the way shit been going for 4, if you want to even say like 6 years, I mean, you can even push it back to like, right after Obama got elected. Since shit been going since then, like,
right.
am I surprised at what ended up happening on Wednesday? No. And I'm like, it's a little surprising that they waited until Wednesday for that shit to go down. But I'm wondering if it just waited till Wednesday because they kept getting lied to that this shit was gonna get overturned. You know what I mean? It was like, oh wait, just wait. You know what I mean?
I
But sorry, I've
think
been talking too much.
no, I like it. I like the fire. You know what I'm saying? I think Trump treated it like, in college when you're not failing a class because, what I'm saying, can't relate. We were on some,
Nah, no, definitely have failed the class before.
okay,
I
true.
was like, yeah, I was
So
like,
have
I'm
I.
not gonna
Okay,
front.
fair enough. But I'll tell you what, I think we tried more in that class than Trump did. So what I'm getting at was like Trump failing this class, right? And his homies are like, yo, like, you're about to fail the class. And instead of like showing up extra, doing homework, dude fell back, did nothing. And they're like, yo, you should at least do the paper. He's like, nah. At the end, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just talk to the professor and he'll just flip my grade. And everyone's like, you
Right.
sure? Like, that's never happened in the history. They're like, nah, yeah, it's cool. I got it. And then like then the semester pops and all the shit. Like, he's like, yo, so can you flip my grade from like an F to an A? He's like, no.
Like,
And
why
then
would he?
he's like, fuck. And that's like his last ditch effort. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. Like, dude, another thing, like, man, it gets me going in circles too, because I'm like, fam, this entire thing was a hustle. Trump is a fucking con man, bro. He's
It
been
was the
playing,
whole
dude.
time.
You know what I'm saying? And then for him to stretch this out even longer, he did it so he can keep fundraising. So why cut out your knees a month in and be like, oh, he stretched it out to the clock. And then they finally, and he said, and then he, like he always does, shifts the blame and was like, oh, I tried, but then they did the illegal stuff. So let's go, let's go tell them how we feel, as he then just goes dips and
Oh
stir,
yeah,
stirs the
that's
pot.
honestly that's the funniest thing to me right there. I saw the thing where okay, so they had to rally at the White House, which is that's just to debunk the thing that people wanted to say was that like the people going into the building into the Capitol building was Antifa, because it's like how would Antifa know that to be at a rally at Trump and knew that Trump was going to tell them to go to the Capitol building. Like that's some 3D chess right there for them to know
Or
that he was going to tell them to go there.
or
But
Antifa, that are supposed to be the liberals, the people that want Biden in office, are gonna delay the thing that they fought for
yeah, just
by
what
just to
yeah.
make you guys look bad, so we can justify why we voted for Trump. Fam, we already did the part. We voted for
Yeah, like I
Trump.
don't know what's the
If
end game for Antifa here,
if
bro.
if shit was before the election, I give you guys a 0.4% chance, maybe.
Right. They're saying like the end game is just to make the Trump people look bad. Like, trust me, dog. It's they ain't they don't have to do
Fam,
that.
I'm telling you, you don't need to go to Capitol Hill and smash it, right? To like, your man just got banned on Twitter. Your man, he's a little
but
hot. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, back to what I was saying though. The thing that is funniest to me is that I saw people saying like when Trump told him to go to the Capitol that he thought that Trump was marching with him. And I'm like, that's the wildest shit. That these people really think that this nigga is like he they really think that he's like for like not even that he thinks he's for them, that he likes like he actually wants to be around them.
Fam,
Like he would be amongst them as like he wants them to be around him in his atmosphere. Like, no, he thinks you motherfuckers is gross. Like he don't want to be. He thinks y'all some brokey ass broke boys.
He would not let you at
And
his golf clubs.
bruh, they would. He don't want you in his vicinity, my guy. Like he wants you at the rallies to egg him on and feed his ego and shit. But like, homeboy wouldn't eat dinner with your broke ass. Like he don't want to march. He don't want to be amongst y'all. Like he's like, yo, go to the Capitol and then like I'm gonna chill here though. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was never gonna be amongst y'all. He not.
You
He
told
don't care.
me a guy from Queens that's never worked a day in his life that like, you know, probably doesn't go in elevators with black people, cares about like the middle American person from Alabama. I'm like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
man. That's the thing that makes it so wild to me is like, all right, if you want to go on the principle of like, you know, politicians suck, they lie to everybody, you know what I'm saying? This and that. Uh that's cool. Like that's you know, I don't think that's 100% true, but that's a position that I completely understand that somebody would have, you know what I mean? But to think that like Trump is like ordained from God and like has really your best interests at heart and like really actually cares about you, like how could you ever, you know, feel that way? There's literally nothing in his history that has like ever pointed to him like having compassion towards literally anybody other
But
than
himself.
people in his maybe people in his family, you know what I'm saying? And even then it's you know what I mean? Like anything other than himself. So like if you fuck with him because you know I know there's like, you know, obviously I'm not want to group everybody, not that it matters, but I don't want to group all his followers into one lump of like, but there's definitely a subsection of this people that are like think that man really like cares about them and for them, and that is absurd because I ain't seen nothing to show that that's even the case. You know what I mean? And then like the other section is just like they like to do because he be out here owning the libs or whatever. Like they like making people like, you know, us or people, you know, who are, you know, quote unquote liberals mad. And so because Donald Trump makes them mad, they like him. You know what I mean? And then obviously and there's all the other ways that people fall in those categories. But the shit is just wild to me that motherfuckers think that he would be rolling with them like like he actually fuck with them like that. Like he don't. He
Like
using y'all for money and clout, bro. It's all being for clout. Y'all gave this nigga clout, and he used that shit, which is crazy to go to the fucking White House. And now he like, yo, and he went to the White House and he just used the White House to make money. And now he just using. He's always using whatever's happening to make money. That's the play every single fucking time.
they're asking Trump where's he at. He's like Lil Durk in that Drake video. He's like, I'm in the trenches, relax.
Oh man, and he hears the Pence speech come on. He was like, we don't listen to rats." Yo, that's crazy, bro. Oh
He's like, where
man.
are all these homies that be saying they be doing this and doing
That boy was, no, that's fucking hilarious. But
sometimes we
yeah,
laugh, sometimes we cry, but now we
yeah,
know
yeah,
now,
exactly. And
baby.
but yeah, bro. And then obviously this shit got crazy. Fucking, you know, people died. One person got trampled. The one lady tried to bum rush in there, and then the cops shot her. And what is it? The one dude tried to take a pay. I don't know how true this story is, but apparently some dude was in there tried to take a fucking painting off the wall and put his taser in between his legs and tase his own balls and caught a heart attack and died. And like, I don't know what to do with that. I'm not somebody who trying to laugh at death. I'm obviously not gonna.
He tried to tase his balls.
No, he you
Oh.
know how like you put something in between your legs to hold it there so you can do something else?
Mm-hmm.
Or like you put something under your chin and you go to do something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you can't, and then like it fucking falls because it was a dumbass idea in the first place.
Right. Usually if it's
Except,
important, I do that.
except if like, except in, you know, something falling from your chin, this dude tases his own balls, fucking around in the Capitol or whatever, and like had a heart attack and died. And it's like, it's not funny that somebody died, but the way that man died, That's all I'm gonna say. That's some zany shit. Like I keep reading it, and people keep telling me it's real, but I'm like, I don't think that can't be real.
Someone at his funeral gotta be like, so we always thought a way to a man's heart was his stomach. Turns
Oh,
out
no, stop.
it's his balls.
Nah, we can't. That shit is wild, bro. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
okay, whatever. I'm not saying I'm never gonna support murder. I mean, not murder,
I
death, or
mean, yeah,
suicide, or
nah, yeah, no.
I
But
don't
it's
know
just
what
like
this
that's
is.
some crazy shit. Uh,
But
that's some
time,
thousands ways. You remember Thousand Ways to Die on Spike
Spike
TV,
TV, yeah,
which was a wild channel. It was like this is a with mans,
yeah, yeah.
man shit. We
Like
gonna have a
they had a
whole.
channel a whole hour just for dirt. You know what I'm saying?
You just put they just motherfuckers just rubbing their hand in the dirt, bro.
They
Just rubbing the
spitting on
dirt
shit like,
on wounds and shit. And fucking and motherfuckers just getting swords and just chopping dummies. Like that was a whole show or some shit. It was like deadliest weapon. And just motherfuckers just fucking going at it on a mannequin. It was crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, they had Thousand Ways to Die. And that's what that shit sound like, bro. It sound like a Thousand Ways to Die shit.
That
You know what I
show
mean?
though, they always depicted the person that died that like was a horrible person though, and they like
Oh, no, they made sure they were covering their ass. They're like,
right, right.
we can't be like, oh, this was an innocent person, and like, unfortunately something happened because it's like, nah, this person got to be an idiot, and they got to be like a terrible idiot,
It's
and
like
they,
1,000 ways to die, but it's like you kind of knew the one result that would happen from this.
yeah, yeah,
Like Jimmy, tried to, do some construction work in his shower. When he plugged in his,
yeah, he was
like,
like in a power drill while he was taking a shower. He thought he could knock out two things at once right after he beat his wife, and you're like, well, Timmy kind of deserves it.
and they always use some like a weird ass pun. They're like, looks like his life was boarded up. It's like, all right.
Like, am I supposed to laugh at these people who have died, bro? That's how I felt reading that damn story. But yeah, so and motherfucker was just going crazy, and like I said, it was a weird ass week. So like when shit was popping off, I was actually at the hospital because we had an emergency come up, and so it was everything's good. So there's nothing crazy. If anybody's listening, like, oh, everything's good. Like, yeah, everything's cool. But fucking like the nurses, like, because we had the shit on the TV, and she was like, what the fuck is going like what's going on? It's like, I don't really know what's going on. It just looks wild. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. It looks pretty
Is this
fucking
House
crazy.
of Cards? You're like, nah,
Yeah,
it's real.
exactly. Like, this is real shit. And so it's just crazy. And I think I was listening to like podcasts for the rest of the week, and I just feel like people's reactions were like completely different than my own. And maybe because I had something going on that day that might have took my mind off of it. But like I came back to it like later in the day, and it was just like people were acting very different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like it was a two Americas thing. It was already a two Americas thing. We didn't even really touch on the fact that like, white people, it was mainly a crowd of white people storming this building, and there obviously some people died, but like there was definitely not the sort of police pushback that we saw in the last summer. And we're like, there's no way that this would have happened. This would have went down the way it went down if they knew it was like a Black Lives Matter or it was some protest that involved black people. But yeah, and like that goes without saying. Like, if you don't see that by now, then I don't really know what to tell you. But like, and again, I'm not saying that they should they should have reacted to this protest or what. Not it was a riot. I don't know if I want to call it a coup like everybody else does, because like they got in there, and what were they even gonna do to actually overthrow the government? Like, what could they actually have done?
No, dude, they tried to kidnap. It was a bigger scale in Michigan. They tried to kidnap the
Oh
governor.
yeah, but I'm saying, like, even if they they kidnap who?
Nancy Pelosi. They were trying to kill her, bro. Like,
no, and again, that's fucked up. I'm saying,
what
even
would
if
it
they,
cause?
yeah, I'm saying even if
Or
they
what
got
would the
in
result?
and they locked up Nancy Pelosi in a closet or some shit, what? And they're gonna be like, did they gonna have a hostage situation? And the cops are outside, and they're like, you got to make Trump the president, and we'll let Nancy Pelosi out. Like, nah, that way, like, I don't. You have to have act for like a coup. You got to have like actual motherfuckers in the government with like power, like the actual military got to be with you to be like, we're overthrowing the government. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just do that shit with like people on the street and going into a government building and fucking shit up. So I'm not with calling it a coup because I don't think that's what it would never have been the outcome, but it definitely was not a protest. That shit was definitely like a riot or a fucking, insurrection. You can call it that if you want to, but
A
it was
sedition.
motherfuckers. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, if motherfuckers, black people try to do some shit like that, it would have been a wrap. But I'm not saying that I wanted them to treat these people like they treated like people in the summer where they were just rubber bullets smashing motherfuckers' heads and like shooting that shit at Mason kids and shit. Uh, I'm saying that they shouldn't be doing any of that shit in the first place, and they should be treating people equally. Now, obviously, you should have enough fucking security not let people into the Capitol building. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing. Like they should have had police there to not let them in there. But like, yeah, that's all people saying. Like you bashing some people head in, you're not. Like we need this shit to be equal, where you don't bash anybody's head in, and you try to keep peace by de-escalating shit. Like that's the way to go about it. But yeah, no, I'm like getting all over the place with shit. But
That's
that's
cool.
the thing that I think people mostly saying. But my thing is like I feel like people had different reaction to it. Like, what was your reaction to it? Like visceral reaction to seeing it happen.
It was very graphic to see it unwind like it did visually.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of like that the questioning you have for these people is because you're trying to apply logic to what was obviously very emotional to them.
True.
I think what if it related to something like I think we could not we could relate to, but something that would be more on a human level that would be like an extreme emotion would be like these people are, seeing Trump go down on, this last, like I said, keeping it to the buzzer and waiting to the last minute. These people are starting to see like, their ex-girlfriend booed up with her new boyfriend and stuff. Like they're
Yeah, yeah.
seeing like this, it's painful for them. Like they've been told that, and they truly believe that Trump could figure out a way that he could become the president for 12 more years or 16
Mm-hmm.
more years and all this like weird stuff that he said along the way. But you know, I too want to be able to just I wish I could apply a simple logic to what is, clearly emotional for these people. But I think what I kept coming back to me was like for the last for the last 4 years I've been having to hear in multiple forms that like, hey, I don't like Trump, but at the end of the day, he's a president and I
Right.
respect and I love America and I'm a constitutionalist. So at the end of the day, like, I'm just going to ride with the president and,
Right.
he's a little rough around the edges, but it is what it is.
That's how it was like first year, right?
Right. And then to the point, so at my thing, it's like, all right, that's fine. If you're gonna celebrate a thing that is up for grabs every 4 years, at what point can you then be on the receiving end of someone saying, I don't like Biden, he's not my favorite, but you know
Right.
what? I'm a patriot. I like America. It is what it is, like
Mm-hmm.
and at what point does the thing that you're trying to fight for become weak when you just want it your way? And I equate that to sports. Like if you win the championship, talk your shit, wear the t-shirt, wear the hats, be hyped, be excited. But then if the other team wins the championship the next year, don't act like that's an impossible thing
Right.
because you just got done celebrating the fact that you made this accomplishment.
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, there has to be a form of like humility in the sense of like, let's throw out any type of election fraud or any type of rigs and this. Could we just think that maybe Trump got less votes? Like, could that just be a possibility? And like the fact that that was such like the never possibility in their head that like, no, there's no way we could lose was what got me so upset. And so just like removed, like you're saying, like I was removed in a sense of being like, I was texting Ty, like, I got my jokes off in the last 4 years and ranted and raved on Facebook. And I know I was obnoxious, but I was like, I didn't think I'd be vindicated this much. Like, I really, Like I didn't think it
You
would.
didn't think it'd be this bad. I was like, yeah, I kind of this isn't really that wild to me. Like I felt
Yeah,
like it'd be pretty bad.
but like what like I'm saying some of the things that I said, like I'm like, yo, like I look back to 3 years ago, I'm like, yo, this dude's gonna try and like stay in there forever. We gotta get this dude out of here. And then like sure as shit, he's like, all right, I didn't win. And, and that's where it got me, man. Like I was never okay with any of this dude doing any of his stuff. But my thing was like, if a team that I hate wins the championship, as long as they give up the trophy the next year, like I'll admit that they won the championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at some point, it's like, and it was cool. I mean, not cool, but I like when people become emotional and they speak and talk on stuff that's been bothering them. And I saw a lot of people post on social media and Instagram and like talk about it and just like kind of share the way they felt. And like a lot of people actually even said that like it made them feel like that, like, yo, like accept reality, bro. Like, that's another thing too, is like the big deviation from these people thinking that they were sold, bro, on this idea that this one man can solve all of these problems
Which is
and
it's just crazy that people can think that anybody
can
can
fix
do that.
anything, especially with all
Could
these
fix all
moving
the
parts.
problems, bro.
Dude, no way ever. So to think that anything going in his progress is like a deviation and a harm to them and a threat to them, it's like, bro, they say things that like they're categorically correct. They're like, oh, you think Biden's gonna fix everything? I'm like,
Like
no, I don't think
no,
that at all. I don't
at
think
all.
ever. Like, fam,
Like he
what?
wasn't my first. Like that's the thing that makes it wild to me is like, and that's I think this is what shows that some people are just living in like a different kind of not lit. You know what I'm saying? Like the news that they get fed, it's just telling them things that make no sense. Of like, you know what I'm saying? They think Biden is a socialist and the commune, and it's like, bro, what? Like I wish he was, bro. Like, Brad, like he's not for any of the things that like are deemed socialists, but they aren't even really like. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's not for Medicare for all. He's not for. He's like wiffle. He's waffering. He's wavering on fucking forgiving all the student loan shit. Like we're gonna have to fight Biden to do a lot of shit that people won't get done. Like you know what I'm saying? And so this notion that like you know what I mean? Like Biden's gonna be this crazy leftist shit. It's just some thing that they cooked up that made no sense because he's like the most run of the mill, like you know what I'm saying? Like he's so middle to this point that he's almost Republican in people's eyes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's just like that's the thing. I saw the tweet. It was like the fact that the wildest part of this is motherfuckers doing this over a Joe Biden presidency. Like, bro, you will literally be fine. Like
But what it is, it's not because it's Biden, it's because it's not Trump.
exactly. And that's the
And
thing that makes it
and
wild. Because it was no matter. That's when people say like if Bernie was it, they were gonna hit him with the socialist shit. And it's like, well, they did it to anybody. They did it to Biden. So it's like they were gonna hit anybody who ran with the socialist tip because they had to make the other person the enemy. You know what I mean? And that's
right, dude. And like that, and also they speak to the just shows how they don't understand how the government work because I heard that from a lot of homies, that voted for Obama, but then kind of got out of politics because they're like, oh no, what did he do for me directly? I'm like, yo,
yeah, and
that's
and
that's not how it works though. You know what I'm
it isn't
saying?
how it works. And then but I do. There are people who like they voted for Obama, and then like you know what I'm saying, like the stuff that he might have delivered on. If that's weak, that's how we should treat politicians. You know what I mean? You give them a vote, and then you see how they do, and if they deliver on shit for you, sure. If you don't felt like they did, that is within your right to be like, nah. But it's just weird to be like, yo, Trump, that's my guy, and I'm gonna wear the hat and I'm gonna wear the shirt. And it's like, what did he even the last 4 years like? What did the shit that he had? What was the major thing that Trump did for the country? Like he
Besides
passed,
roll back all of Obama's shit.
yeah, he just took back all Obama shit and then gave tax cuts to billionaires. Like that's the biggest thing that he did was tax cuts to billionaires.
So also to your point about being like thinking that, oh, you think like Trump ever would rock with these people and cared about them. That's another component where it's like people are like, oh, you think Biden would rock with you? I'm like, nah.
No,
I do
I don't.
I do know though, and I have faith that Biden is aware that he's in a position that requires him to care about other people.
Or
Which
in general, I
which
just think that he aligns with the shit more so than you know what I
more
mean.
yeah.
But
I mean,
again,
besides, I'm saying position wise though, I don't think Trump's able to care about anything but himself, and that's not what this job is for,
no,
right?
at all. That's like the worst thing you have to be for the job.
Right, dude.
Um, but yeah, no, it's like people got to see politicians as tools. Like this shit where people like to like make people into icons and like what I'm saying, like become fans of politics. That makes zero sense. Like they're tools, bro. They're no different than using a hammer to do, you vote one in because you think they're gonna do something that you want and you want them to do it. That's it. They're not like what I'm saying, they're not this end all be all fix it all shit. You know what I
Like if
mean?
I want a personal chef for the night, they're like, yo, but then you could hire like, a comedian and he'll tell joke. I'm like, nah, I want a chef because I know the food's gonna be better. Like I don't care about being laughed at,
Yeah,
making jokes and
exactly.
stuff, But I think, man, unfortunately, as Mr. Told You So, I feel good knowing that all my rant and raving, like, it made me to a point feel at times where I was doing too much, or people were like, all right, we get it, you hate Trump. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not boiled down to just me not liking someone. It's refusing to accept this as our new reality.
Oh
Refusing
yeah.
it's just, it was a daily pushback. It was my
Yeah.
ability to just,
I just tone people out because they're like, you just hate this person. Like, you don't care if they did good stuff. You just hate them. It's like, man, I don't just hate people for no reason, bro. Like, and if I do, I'll be like, I hate people for no, like, oh, I hated Manu Ginobili for no reason, but it wasn't actually no reason. It's because I was a Suns fan. And he was on the Spurs, but you know what I mean. But like, what I'm saying, Trump did like no exaggeration in the hundreds of things that I thought were either I did not agree with, which is one thing, to literally abhorrent, like fucking atrocious, terrible
bro.
things that I'm like, that's fucking
You,
disgusting.
dude, you don't gotta tell me something. Like you're my brother. I consider you. I'm saying I got many black friends, and
Yeah.
you told me specifically, like, yo, I don't even know what to do when a cop pulls me over. Like I'm legit like worried, and I'm like, that's horrible. Like that makes me feel horrible because I'll acknowledge I could use my white privilege in that regard.
Mhm.
They don't. It takes them a couple steps to find out I'm Jewish. You know what I'm saying? With this,
Right.
I can't. You can't turn your blackness off, right? And what made me like it's like when this motherfucker equated, the neo-Nazis, both people, good people on both sides, like that's not even it. What got me was like, bro, George Floyd, when he equated cops killing black people to a putter having a bad putt. I'm like,
That's some shit, bro. That's some
I'm
shit.
I'm
That's
like,
some
son,
shit,
like,
bro.
but no, it goes to show that he's showing like, like, get him on the next one. It's like as if a black life is not. It's like it's just a missed
Yeah,
putt.
like
Like
fuck it,
yeah.
lost a life, but whatever. You know
And
what I
and
mean?
and that I'm talking when people say like, oh, you think this person cares about you? I was like, not only do I not think this Trump does not care about me, he doesn't care about my brothers or my family. Like, so I see this person as a threat to my entire
Yeah,
world,
but then
right?
there's also like literal things that he did that were just terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like that goes from policy. I know people don't talk about shit, but like policy wise too, yeah, also terrible. But yeah, nah, I was just the whole thing was I just want to see how you reacted to it because I felt like white people kind of reacted to it. And I'm not grouping you into white people. I know you're like a subsect, but white
Appreciate you.
people. I feel like white people reacted more taken aback. You know what I'm saying? Or of like, and I'm not saying that they were like surprised, but they were just kind of like it felt like people were like scared of what was going on, and I hear people saying like, "Oh, it's the Civil War about to break out," and shit like that. But I feel like black people were kind of just like, yeah, nah, this don't really surprise us. And then also like some of this shit is funny. And
Yeah,
that's
my
all Black
brain.
Twitter was on fucking Wednesday. It was just jokes at the jokes at the jokes, and motherfuckers didn't care.
It was like it's the meme where like when like you're you're at like a friend's house and like the couple's fighting and everyone's awkward, so they're pretending to like do shit, like
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
your phone. It's like, fam, can somebody stop them? Like,
Nah, bro. That's and you're just like this is fucking crazy. And yeah, no, it's
did you see that video of the white guy screaming? Like it was in Washington, and he was like screaming at them, like, "You fucking crackers!"
what?
Yeah, and he was like, and then this black girl was like, "Right? They blowing up the city," and he's like, "If it was Black Lives Matter, there'd be a whole tank truck down there."
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
just an
man.
angry white guy screaming from the
Yeah,
porch.
he's
It
just
was
like yelling at them, and they're just like going in. That's fucking wild. But yeah, nah, it just it was a crazy day, and I mean I don't know if shit's gonna get worse. You know, they got this boy, they got Trump banned off of fucking all the social media. That boy can't get on Foursquare. He can't even make
he
a
doing
MySpace
TikTok
top
dances
eight.
and shit. It's like,
He can't even hop on the
I'm
homeboy.
laughing. He's got Kaylee McAnally scrambling like, "Yo, do a TikTok," and she's like,
he trying to send fucking Kellyanne Conway messages through words with friends and shit. It's
he's
like
like in the Brad Pitt, The Martian, where he like made a whole shit from like a calendar. Like Trump's like, "Yo, I got receipts from like fast food restaurants. I need you to be."
that shit is crazy, bro. I mean him just being banned and all social media is just hilarious to me. Like what is he doing,
He
bro?
storms into Barron's room. He's like, "Give me your phone."
What he just like he had to like scroll. He's on Twitter in dark in like an incognito browser, but like not logged in, just like with his
Bro,
name
Trump.
search. Like how is this gonna work, bro? Like how's he?
Yeah, Trump's in the lab right now, treating us like a SoundCloud rapper, like getting like, oh, they praying on my downfall.
That's what it is, bro. That shit is crazy, man.
Nah,
He's
but I mean, to transition to something light, I did, in the act real quick of I was gonna say my brother pointed out like these not only on top of everything crazy, but like how much a feeling of invasion and lack of security these people feel. Like, they work at this place for so many years and it's their safety zone and all this stuff. It's like, that's pretty like ruffling of the feathers to like know that people were like came in, and that's the scariest thing is people that have no plan and they have nothing to lose. Like, sadly,
yeah.
Trump supporters have nothing to lose. They already lost
Although
everything they care about.
I don't mean there's some people who had stuff to lose and they still went in there. Like you see these
True.
reports of like it was lawyers and a CEO or some dude from My Pillow or some shit who's been funding people going to here, and it's like the lady who ended up dying like took a private jet there, and it's like, bro, y'all got money, like y'all gonna be good. Like what are y'all doing?
And
It's just
it's like,
crazy.
yeah, just the
I think
feeling
I
of losing something.
it's that, and at the end of the day, there's people like they're just taking in their news from like, and it's not that because we we're susceptible to it too. Like our Twitter feeds, I'm sure, are very echo chamber where we just it's very curated to people who think like us, and if it's people who don't think like us, it's somebody dunking on somebody who don't think like us. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like, so I get that it's like both sides you could say aren't seeing the other side. But it's like, bro, when I venture over to the other side to see what y'all talking about, y'all on some wild shit, bro. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't need to be exposed too much to it to know that I'm not with it. You know what I
Bro,
mean?
I
And
can't
so
go I can't go 2 pages into their shit without seeing like a swastika. I'm like, all right,
yeah, exactly. It's like, nah, I already know what y'all about. So no, this isn't a both sides issue and all this shit. So, but I just think most people, they're like, once they get into that shit, then they start, they're in there because people think like that already, but then they're getting fed fake shit. Like, you know what I mean? They're getting fed news that isn't real. And so they believe shit that just isn't real. And so that shit it's manifesting into the shit we're seeing. And I mean, I'm hoping it don't turn into more shit, but they're saying the reason why they kicked Trump off because shit would turn into more shit. So, but
Oh,
yeah,
there's
nah.
definitely gonna see. Sadly, my birthday. My birthday's inauguration day. But what might be wild is like this might be the most anticipated day in like the last 4 years.
I think it's virtual though, isn't it?
Um, what the inauguration?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it gonna be
Uh,
virtual? I don't even know.
my birthday is gonna be virtual. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
But
something's wrong with your brother. What's happening?
oh nah. I was so speaking of on the topic of working messing up the workplace. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I can't share the picture because I guess he's not supposed to have to. Whoever has the footage is not supposed to share it around. So
Ah, okay.
whatever, out of context. But no, my brother sent me a funny photo of him falling down the stairs, yada yada. And at first, I was like, "Yo, like, um, was this some story of like you trying to prove somebody wrong and it went bad?" And he's like, "Kinda." So, long story short, what happened was, he used to be a manager at a restaurant, and his waitress was serving a guy that was really stuck in kind of Trump ways of like very disrespectful to women and very condescending.
Mm.
And he was being really rude. And my brother's like, all right, you want me to come out there? Like, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, he said, he wants to speak to a man and all this stuff. And he's like, all right, I'll do that for. And the guy was just like, he wanted his food, he was irrational. He wanted his food right away. He wanted it hot. Like, he didn't want to wait any time. He didn't want appetizers, like all these things. He was pushing back. So my brother was just like, and then the guy got his steak or whatever, and it came and it was too cold and the guy waited too long. And it was just so my brother's like, what do you need? Like, I'll make you a new one. It's on me, blah, blah, blah. And my brother runs to the back, and apparently like the meal they just made was really hard to make. And my brother, who's like the manager, so he can have this pull, he goes back to the chef and he's like, I need you to make another one. The guy's like, what? We literally just made this. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, dude, I know, just make the thing. I don't like, this guy's an asshole. Like, he's the worst, but that's just how you deal with these type of people, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, fuck, man. And he makes he makes the meal again. And then the waitress is like, all right, like, you want me to bring it out to him? Like, and then my brother's like, nah, let me just do it. And my brother's the manager. He's not supposed to be carrying these trays like that. Like, so it's kind of like when any manager steps into the thing he doesn't do for a while.
Yeah, he doesn't
like,
actually do it, so it's like he don't actually remember. It's like he's definitely rusty at the worst,
So he's like, everyone's like, you sure, man? Like, and mind you, he said this was at the end of his shift and he was already sleepy and like, just like, he's been there 12 hours. Like, he was already like ready to, when you kind of half clock out and someone's like, oh, can you help me with this? And you're just like, fuck. And like, you go and like, you give him half the juice, and you're halfway out the door. He was doing all that, right? So he's got the tray, and trays are like big ass thing, right?
Yeah, that's just huge. I don't know how they carry them, to be honest.
So he said he's running up the stairs and just he felt it slip, and he was like in the movies
trying to correct it.
And he was like, at this point, I knew I was fucking up, And they train you though, is if you fall, don't save it, because like you're more important than the food,
Right.
So you're supposed you're supposed to like throw yourself, and that's why my man's legs was all crooked and shit. And the food came slamming down, so he dropped the replacement meal.
Oh man,
that he just got everyone involved in, talking about I'ma save it, blah blah blah. And then he's just sitting on the sitting on this.
Was it one of those falls where you just knew that you fell and you knew that shit was embarrassing and you don't even want to get back up? Like, I'm gonna just chill here forever, bro.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
He's got like Caesar dressing on his leg.
Yeah, so like Jesse just sent me the picture of his brother. Like, my brother fell and he just still, like, they caught it on camera. And it's just him just laid out on the on the steps with the food, just like down the steps, and him just out. And I'm like, yo, that's fucking hilarious.
And then the waitress behind him is laughing at him because he tried to tell her, like, I got this. And she was probably like, I told you, I offered.
Now, did they make another one, bro?
So he said he's sitting on the stairs just like regrouping and shit. And she's like, what are we going to do? And he's like, there's nothing we can do. And he's just like, he's like, I'm not going back up there. So he just let the guy get mad and he left.
Oh man. I mean, that's better than making a third one. Like, nah, bro, I'm not making a third. I don't care how fuck this up, bro. Leave. I don't care. That dude shouldn't have been rewarded for being a dick anyway.
I was like, fuck that, man. And then that just made me think real quick of like, I used to work at a country club. Like, I retired out of the restaurant game early because I wasn't good at it, but I worked at a country club and I worked at the snack bar. I served the fries and burgers and shit. It was connected to like the 5-star restaurant for the mayors, like the members, right? And they cooked, you know what I'm saying, like gush, you know what I'm saying, what's that, Top Boss stuff?
Yeah. Michelin 5-star shit.
Right. And one time, bro, this guy was doing like one of those like things you'd see on British bakery, cook off or whatever. The guy was making a cake that was like, is it a cake or is it we were talking last week? It was like so fancy. It was done up with all, the wax. It was like, 4-foot tall cake. Like, they had someone important come in and that's why the cake was there. And my dumbass was working that day. And I was like 15 or 16, so I didn't really have the best like frame of like, awareness and all that shit. They
Mm-hmm.
just get done making the cake because I guess the special dinner was like around 7 or whatever. But mind you, in my defense, bro, they put the cake in a very weird spot. Like, all right, this final product's done. Like, they put it next to the tinfoil.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need the tinfoil for anything important, except for a customer that I was cool with came by with like his lacrosse stick, and I was like, I was like, I can get you. You can use You're not allowed to use the lacrosse balls in that club. But I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll get you some tinfoil. I'll make you like a ball of rubber bands and shit. It'll be dope,
Mm-hmm.
So I run and grab the tinfoil, bro, and I knock over the cake.
Oh. Yo, did they catch you knocking over the cake?
Yes, and
Oh
dude,
man.
a guy that was mad cool with me all summer, who I've never seen get mad. His name was Chef. He was like the head chef.
Yeah.
He fucking got so mad at me, and I was like, oh, like this is when I learned. I was like, yeah, like you could fuck up in life and just not fix it. Like,
Oh yeah, there's nothing you could do. Like, and you fuck,
right,
and it's like you fucked up, and you fucked. You just gotta sit in that you fucked up. Like
right.
that's some
So
shit right
he
there.
he turns to me, and when somebody's usually like, it's all right, man, we'll figure it out or some shit. He just turns to me and goes, fuck, man. And I was like,
Just fucking around too, like not even doing
yeah.
anything important
And
either.
then I made some like I didn't have the heart to tell him it's like I need tinfoil to make a fucking lacrosse ball. Like
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, I needed it for I lied. I forgot what I said, but
Yeah, but you couldn't just tell me it was for something stupid because it's
nah, and
like
he
he
didn't
might have
care.
fought you, so it wouldn't have mattered what the reason was anyway. But you told me it was a dumb reason, he might have fought you, bro.
And then I'm dying because like I was like, I wonder what they're gonna do to replace this like fancy $1 million cake. It seemed like I was like, and then I see them just whipping out like plates of vanilla ice cream. I was like, shit.
Yo, that's crazy.
Uh,
uh,
everybody feels fucked up at a workplace sometimes.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like times that I fucked up uh at work. I feel like not nothing. I have nothing like crazy. Not definitely not wilding out on the cake shit. I guess one time where I felt like I fucked up, and I probably didn't really fuck up, but I kind of did. But was when I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, and and like this dude walked into the Dunkin' Donuts, and it was him and his kid, right? And they come up to the fucking counter, and they're like, "All right, can we get 2 boxes of assorted, like of dozen 2 dozen donuts assorted?" And so like usually when it's like they ask for 2 dozen, you ask them like what donuts they want, but they said like assorted. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just pick out the donuts for them.
Right.
So like I whip out the boxes and I turn completely around away from them to like start putting the box together. And then like I turn around and they gone. And I'm like, the fuck? And I look at my manager and she just looked at me and I'm like, she's like, what? I was like, there were people here and they just left. And she's like, what the fuck? And then she ran, and we both like ran around to the front, and literally all, you know how like, I don't know if you've been in a Dunkin', right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
In the front, they have all the coffee beans and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran and all the coffee beans were gone. And we are like, what the fuck? So we went outside and they were gone. Like there's nobody. And so we're like, what the fuck just happened? And we go to the video, and when I turned around, the dad pulled out a bag and like opened it, and it took all the coffee bags and put that shit in like a bag and shit, and then just ran out. And it had a getaway car, bro. And they hopped in the getaway car and drove off with like the pounds of coffee. And we were like watching the video, like, what? And so like, and they were like, why did you, and my boss was like, why did you turn around? I was like, I was just making the sort. But it's like, who would have even thought that they were trying to steal fucking bags of bean coffee? Like, the fuck, did they hit up a fucking like Family Dollar and stole a coffee machine and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it? Were they just slinging it on the corner like, yo, I got that French vanilla, bro. That I got that fucking dark roast. What's up, bro?
I got that decaf. I know you've been hitting the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got that fire roasted coffee beans, bro. Let's like, you know what I mean? And then apparently, same dude hit like 3 other Dunkin' Donuts and left like, and he told people, I don't know if he told people or he left a calling card, but he was calling himself the Peekaboo Bandit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Turns out he was a
What?
manager at Krispy
I
Kreme.
don't know what. It's a very confusing shit, bro.
Bro, that's like another thing was like, I mean, I'm on his side a little bit because I mean, Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I don't justify paying for that shit either. Like,
But very rare people like was so into Dunkin' coffee that they got the coffee beans, bro. That's like, yo, I need this shit. I need the pure shit at my crib, bro. Like that's it. Coffee beans, be like that shit is crazy to me. I don't know if he thought he could sell it. I know motherfuckers like coffee. I don't think motherfuckers like coffee that much. You know what I mean?
he's like, he's like, you been in Costco? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Open up my own branch real quick.
He's just slinging coffee beans. Yeah, so that's the time that like sticks out of my mind of me kind of fucking up, but it's somebody just robbing the place.
Right. Yeah, you
Just,
can't be held accountable for that, bro. It's
yeah, I
like,
know. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm sure there's other times I fucked up, but it just wasn't funny.
I was like,
Yeah.
you worked at Home Depot too. I was like, did you ever like knock over like a display of like 10 feet tall wood and shit?
Right? No, I seen motherfuckers drop shit because I used to work the forklifts,
Oh,
and
shit.
so you know what I mean. And surprisingly, I never dropped anything on a forklift. So I've like did the thing where I get the forklift kind of stuck in between like one of the little things that holds the shit on there, and like try to bring it out, and that kind of like bends it a little bit or like shifts it, and that shit like I'm like, oh shit, this whole thing could have came down. Yeah, but other than that, nah, I never.
Bro,
Surprisingly,
at
man.
that same country club, like, this was a high school job, in the
Mhm.
summer. Um, the manager, one time I clogged the toilet and I like was taking a shit and I was like embarrassed to tell anybody that I was taking a shit. Mind you, the manager was a woman, so I was like even more embarrassed.
Uh-huh.
And then what's funny was I was like, fuck, she's the only one that could like fix this because she knows maintenance stuff. And she was like talking to a bunch of members, and she's like, "Oh, here's Jesse, one of our snack club." And I was like, "Hey, I clogged the toilet. Can can I use your help?" She's just like,
All
"Oh
right,
man."
man.
She's like, "I'll be back." I need to,
Hopefully that was before the cake thing, because that might have piled up into some. All right, maybe I gotta get this dude out of
yeah.
here.
It was definitely before,
All right. But
Um,
I think we was arrived. We wanted to do a
yeah,
short episode. We never do a short episode,
yeah. I love
but
talking to my man too much. This dude.
but if it looks like we arrived to our favorite part of the podcast,
Burr, burr,
songs of the
burr.
week, bro. What's the songs of the week?
I'll hit, it's 2001. It's not 2001, it's 2021.
Took it all the way back 20
You know what I'm
years, bro.
saying? And I'll hit you guys with some new music that's coming to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
I don't know this artist, but the song was cool. His name's Kid Season.
Oh,
And the song is Ride for Me. So it's a good
okay.
song. I've been bumping it,
Cool.
so why not?
I know I usually do bangs, bops, and slap, but it's like the beginning of the year. People ain't really dropping too much music right now, so I'm gonna just give y'all the one album that I did listen to, which was Jazmine Sullivan's new album called, or it's like an LP, I guess, EP, whatever. When it's not an album, they don't want to say it's an album because they're like, I ain't put that much effort into it. I just
Oh
put a
yeah,
little bit.
don't judge me
You
at
know what
my
I mean?
worst. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's like an LP or whatever the hell you want to call it, called Hotels. And I mean, even just judging from that name, but it's a really good album. She's definitely ultra horny on it for some reason, which is cool.
Because it's
People,
it's named Hotels. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And she has a song on there with Ari Lennox called "On It" or "Spit on It." It's definitely horny, but really good. I say check that out. That was gonna be my, my songs of the week. I'm sure I'll pick something to put on the pod, but
I bet. Well, shouts to that, man. Shouts to
mhm.
the sponsors, man. Sunday Scaries, they've been holding it down. They told me they're gonna send us those the tub cubs, those, what I'm saying, the CBD bath bombs. So
Oh
hopefully
shit,
those
I
on
don't
the
never
way.
take a bath, so I don't know what to do with that.
Get one with tell Katie to rock a bath.
Uh,
You know what I'm
they put the
saying?
CBD the baby out.
I'm sure it's fine for the. I'm sure. If it goes through a belly
I'll
button or
tell
some
her.
shit, I don't
I'll
know.
tell Katie, like, Katie.
Just put your
Jesse
feet in.
said. Jesse said the CBD is fine for the baby, bro. We good.
It's probably just vitamin. I don't fucking know. I'm not a baby
Yeah,
no more. I
I
used to
know.
be.
Yeah, that's what I feel like a doctor would be.
Now what do they know? Fake news.
I'm not. Yeah.
I will say, now that we got the visual, I think it's funny. Like every episode, you have like a new box of Huggies behind you, and I feel
Yeah, man. We stocking up.
by the time by the time you have the baby, it's gonna be like a Tetris game.
Yeah,
It's
just like boop
just
boop.
stacked up.
Hopefully, more people send us Huggies, bro. If you was planning on doing our registry, you ain't do it yet. Like, all the other stuff is cool, but diapers, my guy, just get us diapers.
Yeah.
Diaper it up, my G.
I'm saying, but nah, yeah. So shout outs to them on that. Daniel Phillip, you know what I'm saying? I used to wrist up, it's a new year. People want to stunt, and you know what I'm saying? I hear a lot of people talking about Bitcoin. So I think, you know what I'm saying, you could liquidate
Sure.
that and then
Hmm.
spend money on that, you know what I'm saying?
No clue anything about Bitcoin, but yeah, make
Yeah.
sure you hit up the
Make
sponsor.
sure I'd be afraid that my Bitcoin would get like control alt deleted or some shit. And they're like, nah, it's gone. Sorry.
Nah, it's not there no more,
Yeah, glitch. But nah, so yeah, man, they be, showing love. We need more people to show love. Bucket up, promo code, get 20% off, 30% off on the on the Daniel Phillips. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to you, Ty, for putting up with me week in, week out. You know what I'm saying? We in a new decade, a new year, a new craziness. My birthday, like I said, is inauguration day. We got a black guy and a Jewish guy to run in the South now. Like,
Yeah, we didn't even so much shit happened. We didn't even talk about
dude,
the
if the Bucket Up
Democrat winning the
podcast,
Senate is black and Jewish guy. That shit's crazy in Georgia.
I know if the Bucket Up podcast was a political duo, you know what I'm
Yeah, that'd be
saying? Yeah,
great.
and he's
Yeah.
Ashkenazi Jew, so he really from the tribe.
No clue what that means, but I'm with you, bro.
I
You said
told you,
he's
European,
wasabi Jew? What?
European Jew, Ashkenazi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sephardic is Middle Eastern.
That sounded like a Jamaican term. Like he's a
Uh,
Rastafari Jew, my guy.
but nah, he's with the shits is pretty much what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'll pour out a bowl of matzo ball soup for my mans. Quick. No, so yeah, shouts to Warnock. Shouts to Ossoff. You know what I'm saying? We be laughing our ass off. I said, War knock knock, who's there? Not Kelly Loeffler. You know what I'm saying?
Policy aside, like I said, Raphael Warnock is a fire name. Like that's
you gotta
a
be
cool
that's
last name, bro.
that's a video game character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
The final boss, Raphael Warnock. But nah, yes, volume 152, man. Shouts, like I said, you putting up week in, week out. For the buckets have been flying with us, volumes in and out. You know what I'm saying? The new, platforms, the videos, everything.
I'll see if if you're watching on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, you can see our stupid faces now. But yeah, time for the newbies. Where can they find us, son?
Yeah, man. Like we just said, bro, YouTube is our new spot. Put us on the little link. So if you're hitting us up on the Instagram, you can see it in the bio. If you want to get to our pods quick, as soon as you see us post on it, you can just go in the bio. We got that shit up there. But yeah, our main steez is Spotify, or not Spotify, it's SoundCloud. But we're also on Spotify. You don't gotta jump too far from your playlist. You can go from listening to Usher or fucking I don't know why Usher is the first person. Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby, Billie Eilish. I don't know what you listen to. You know what I mean? You could just pop us in next, and you just not knock us out, but knock out the podcast, and then you go back to listening to your music or whatever podcast else you listen to. And then also we on Google Play. Unlike unlike your boy Trump, when you get banned from any of these places.
What's up?
But yeah, we're on Stitcher Radio. We're on fucking Apple Podcasts, obviously. And if you fuck with us on Apple Podcasts and you haven't yet, please leave us a review. 5 stars. If you want to say something nice, that'd be fucking cool. You know what I mean? Oh man, Jesse and Ty is so funny. I see Ty on the YouTube. He be looking handsome as fuck, bro.
I didn't know Jesse was the Jewish one. Oh shit!
There you go. Like I know Katie's the pregnant one, but Ty's always glowing. Like if you want to leave shit like that, like that's cool. Like do that. You know what I mean? And that helps us with ratings and all that shit. I don't know. This is what they say on all the other podcasts. It helps with, but yeah, do that. Leave that for us. And if you want to hit us up to talk to us on social media, you can hit us up on Facebook. We're just the Bucket Up Podcast. On Instagram, we're at the Bucket Hat Boys. On Twitter, we're at Bucket Up Podcast. And then, individually, you can hit us up. I am at Tylante, aka Brokey Robinson, and Jesse is at JB. So yeah, hit us up on there.
Fresh out of Twitter jail, mind you. I don't know why I got put in. I think because
I was wilding on Wednesday, bro. He was getting them jokes off. That's what it was.
I said, why didn't Kyle Rittenhouse go to the Capitol to defend him? You know what I'm saying?
He on house arrest. That's why. He can't really, and that would have been, he would have he already did it. He been there, done that. You know what I mean?
Sure. He on to new shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He already they copying his steez, but yeah. So damn, that just threw me all off. But yeah, nah. So yeah, on Twitter if you want to, hit us up about shit that we talked about on the show, shit that you think we should talk about. You see anything funny that you think we should talk about? If you want to argue with us about over content, yell at us about shit that we say on the podcast. I mean, I might mute you if you come, sideways, but yeah, do that shit.
Suggest a
And
guest, bro. I'm good at reaching people. So
yeah, bro,
if
that's what's
someone you
up.
want to talk to, bro, I'll throw out the Hail Mary. You know what I'm
And
saying?
if you want to get on the show, man, if we fuck with you and you want to come talk to us, like we're pretty open. So like, you know what I mean? Obviously we had our homies on, people that we, I've known for a long time, but we've had people that I've just met or I met because Jesse hit them up on Twitter. So we down to get y'all up on the show for sure if you fuck with us.
Yeah, submit a video of you doing like a backflip or like your special talent. You know what I'm saying?
Like the real world, we get them here.
Yeah, like why I want to be on the Bucket Up podcast. I'm nutty. You know what I'm saying?
Man, yeah, man. I think that's it.
But yeah, shouts to that, man. Like I said, for me, man, I'm on my way to, maybe some sushi. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, shouts to you for the Bucket Hat Boys, for the Bucket Up podcast. We on our way to the second day of football, the Sunday scaries, you know what I'm saying? Monday's approaching, and my birthday. So just stay tuned for that. But yeah, for the Bucket Up podcast, for the Bucket Hat Boys, we out.
Cheer, cheer.